This video is sponsored by Paducah Bank.
Paducah. It's a small town with a big city style. A town with traditional values, yet innovative vision. A mix of families native to the area and transplants from across the country who decided to stay. Located at the confluence of the Ohio and Tennessee rivers, we are a river city. For the past 75 years, the Paducah Area Chamber of Commerce has been the voice of the business community. The chamber was first started in 1938 by 60 men who were interested in moving this community forward. Within 2 weeks of its formation, the group helped the city to push a $200,000 bond to build a flood wall to protect the city from a repeat of the 1937 flood. Chamber president from 1947 to 49, Richard Fairhurst, was quoted as saying, "No person with knowledge of what can be done by pulling together could have any reason for not joining up to help the chamber create a better life for all Paducans." In 1954, Paducah attorney Henry Whitlow served as chair, and nearly 40 years later, his son Mark Whitlow followed in his footsteps.
My father, Henry Whitlow, in 1954 was quoted as saying, "The chamber was started in the Gallup to help wipe out the scars of the 1937 flood and has not slowed down since." Well, that sounds a lot like my father. Paducah was on its knees in the 1937 flood, and I think the chamber has been very active to overcome that scar, and we're still galloping as far as I'm concerned. The chamber's still very active and doing the good things that it was intended to do.
As the chamber continued to grow, so too did the idea that our boundaries shouldn't stop at the city limits.
One of the major problems that I saw at the time was that we were too located or too concentrated in the city of Paducah. So it was my attempt to enlarge it and get it way out to include McCracken County. Can you believe that? The chamber represents a whole lot of people, and not just the Paducah. It's just another symbol of how things have progressed to the betterment.
The chamber has always valued its members and how important those businesses are for our community. Long-lasting partnerships have been formed. In 1958, Paducah Bank was featured on the cover of the chamber's newsletter for their new branch.
Paducah Bank has been a member of the chamber for decades. Whenever you're looking to expand a presence within the community, whenever you're looking to bring new industry to town, chamber membership is critical to that. There's a vital connection between the success of a company and chamber membership.
Ernest Mitchell served as the chamber president for 2 terms and was the first and possibly only volunteer to personally recruit 100 new members in 1 year. Mr. Mitchell said, "I enjoy working with membership committees because you know you're building up a good town when you build up a good chamber of commerce." Through the years, the chamber continued to grow and be active in pushing for economic development and new projects throughout the community. In the late 1990s, our major manufacturers were in need of more engineers, and the chamber took a major leadership role in the effort to build a branch of the University of Kentucky's Engineering School. Former chamber chair Dave Denton headed up the campaign to raise local funds.
Efforts to get an engineering school through what I would call the traditional means had not worked out, so we were going to have to do it on our own.
Dr. Wally Montgomery came up with a plan to work around those traditional means.
During that time, I had been involved with the Kentucky Medical Association lobbying efforts, and I thought that the Chamber of Commerce needed a lobbyist.
That lobbyist turned out to be John Cooper, who still plays that role in the chamber to this day. The UK School of Engineering on the campus of West Kentucky Community and Technical College recently celebrated 15 years of educating engineers here in Paducah.
It was a real strong effort led by a very strong and active chamber. Without the chamber, we couldn't have done it.
Cooperation of the city and county through the chamber and a presence in Frankfort didn't stop with the new school. Community leaders had a dream to expand our cultural offerings with the construction of a performing arts center, but it was a dream that could not be realized without state support.
Carson Center wouldn't have been built if we hadn't gotten $20 million worth of state support, and that seeking of the state support was a priority of the Paducah Chamber.
Today, the Carson Center stands as a testament to what our community can accomplish when we work together.
You ask about the last 75 years, probably the Carson Center would be the most significant change in this community. But had it not been for the networking through the chamber, we probably wouldn't have built Carson Center.
And the chamber's efforts to bring a community together and work towards a common goal haven't slowed down since.
The networking that can occur through a Chamber of Commerce and those who work toward a common priority can be an amazing thing.
Dr. McCall, the president of the Kentucky Community and Technical College System, tells me that when city and county government and the Chamber of Commerce come to Frankfort, they're a powerhouse. I believe him. I think that's what we do.
I think the Chamber is looked at as a sort of a regional force. You want to go to Washington? My golly, the Chamber is the one who orchestrates it.
There's so many projects that happened because a group of citizens came together and said we can make this a stronger, better place to live and work, and that's what the Chamber's about.
The Chamber is also about supporting its members and their needs. In the early 2000s, Susan Guess helped orchestrate a Buy Local campaign to promote and support local businesses.
To me, that was probably the most valuable thing that we did during that term because it really was of value to the members that they could see. There's a lot of things the Chamber does with lobbying efforts, with things they do to support the members, but the Buy Local is something the members could feel every day when people came into their business and said, we're here to buy local.
The Chamber had a second father and son to both chair, with David and Glenn Denton.
I've been following in my father's footsteps since I was born. It is nice to be able to follow a father who leaves a large footprint as opposed to a small one because it constantly keeps you moving forward, trying to live up to those expectations.
In 2011, the Chamber was recognized as Chamber of the Year. Lynn King believes the Chamber's relationships within our community were key in helping earn that award.
We have a strong partnership with the city and the county. We work closely with the West Kentucky Regional Chamber Alliance, the Kentucky Chamber, and Paducah Economic Development. By speaking in one voice, these partnerships help us in Frankfort and when we go to Washington, D.C.
Today, more than 900 businesses belong to the Paducah Area Chamber of Commerce, and we are continuing a tradition of service through programs like Leadership Paducah, the Trade Show, Golf Scramble, trips to Frankfort and D.C., ribbon cuttings, and so much more. The reasons for joining the Chamber are endless.
There is no better way to help shape your community than to be involved in organizations like the Chamber of Commerce.
You get to know everybody, but they get to know you. So as a small business owner, the contacts I made were invaluable. I got back threefold what I had been putting in.
There are many words that could be used to describe the Chamber.
Vibrant,
Leadership.
Cooperation.
Engaged.
Dedicated.
Professional. Very easy.
I couldn't do it in one word.
No matter how you describe the Chamber, always remember one thing.
Be proud of what you are and what you're doing. It is wonderful.